On today's edition of Forever Home, we're going to be talking about water leaks, exterior flashing, and the damage it can create when you don't get the mechanical layers correct. Let's take a walk up on the roof and show you what's going on. So the guys got here first thing this morning, started taking the siding apart. Customer had called us because just inside this patio wall, they were having some drywall damage show up on the ceiling, pretty much right in this corner where everything sort of comes together. And so they were kind of curious what was causing that and what the problem was. They gave us a call, sent us some pictures, we gave them some ideas, showed them some of the videos here on our YouTube channel, and the guys this morning got started with taking things apart up on the roof. So the goal was to figure out why water was getting into this corner of things on the inside and damaging the drywall. Let's go up on the roof. So the guys have removed all the siding that's important here on the back of the house, and just to orient you, up's here for where we were downstairs. We walked through the porch door right about here, and then over here to the right is the gutter line. And if we follow that gutter line back, pretty much winds up right underneath of that corner here. So what's going on? Well, we've got good Tyvek comes down over and into the J channel here. That's perfect. We love that. That's great. Wonderful. What's going on up here at the side? Well, we've got a couple of challenges. We'll see if I can keep my shadow out of the way so that you can see it. We notice that the house wrap here is behind the tar paper from the roof, and that it is behind the step flashing and the J channel. I don't care if it's behind the J channel, that's fine, but it needs to be in front of. The mechanical layers have to be correct. The mechanical flashing layers have to be in the correct sequence so that water's moving to the outside. So any water that comes down here has the option to get behind this step flashing. Now, what would allow water to get back there? Well, could have been a joint in the siding where wind blew in, but how did they get this much water that caused a significant amount of damage downstairs? My suspicion is that when you had a piece of siding that runs across hard into it, and I can see these water stains, you'll notice right here, there's a water stain there, there's a water stain there, there's a slight one here, there's a bigger one up there. So all three of these spots, the siding was probably jammed hard in to this J channel. So any water that comes down the J channel and ride on top of that lip and get a free ride across, and somewhere it drops off and runs down this wall and has the opportunity to get behind the step flash and get in here. Now, the second sin that we see going on is the crazy amount of silicone that somebody put in here to try to stop this leak, and they sealed this joint here at the bottom, which means any water that come down this area cannot get out, which allows it to back up behind here, which allows it to back up behind here, which allows it to back up and run uphill behind here, and that water can just zigzag its way back because there's a dam. Anytime you put a dam in here and you create a spot where water can begin to fill, it has the opportunity to run backwards, to run uphill. And when water starts to run uphill, all of your flashing layers are for naught, because flashing is dependent on gravity working and water flowing downhill. So the fact that that's sealed is causing that water to zigzag in behind the flashing. Any siding that was hard over against that J channel, it could travel across. So let's take a look at what that might look like. Come over here and grab a piece of flashing. I like this one. So let's take this over. And so see how this has channel, and see how much dirt is on top of that channel? How in the world did all that dirt get back there unless it was being carried back there by water? So perhaps this piece of board was in here really tight, and any water that ran down the J channel was able to get a free ride on top of here until it found a spot and dripped off and fell down at any one of these points on every piece of siding running up to this J channel. Lots of opportunities for you to get a free ride out and over this. So how do we fix it? Well, we're going to put a slice in the Tyvek. We're going to put new Tyvek up behind that slice, and we're going to layer that over down on top of this flashing. So any water that comes down has to be in front of it. That's step one. Step two, we're going to remove a bunch of that silicone gunk and allow a channel for the water to get out. Because right now, anything that backs up in this J channel, there's no weep holes drilled. There's nothing. So we maybe want to drill a couple of weep holes and give that J channel a spot for the water to be able to get out. Norman and I'll talk about that and see what he thinks on that front. We're looking here at this window, and do they have any flashing up behind the nailing fin? We want to make sure that that's being brought out, which I think is what this piece of rubber here is for, but then it's mislayered, it's reverse lapped with the house wrap. So we got to address that piece of things. And then we come on over to this side, and do we have more of the same? We've got, again, some other step flashing here that isn't lapped properly with the house wrap. We got to address that, and then come on down here, and it would be nice if this house wrap came all the way down and covered that step flashing completely. And it's not. So here's an example of what they did with the window, which in this case, this works. Over there, not so much, because here we've got, if the water comes down behind this, that's okay, it can come out the bottom. If it comes out below this nailing fin, on top of this, on top of here is fine. But over there, I would have liked to see the top of this seal, because I don't know where the bottom of this comes out. And so we just need a belt and suspenders to make sure that that's correct. Got a horizontal lap here. Looks like we got good overlap on that. So we're just kind of checking a couple different pieces here to make sure that they've done everything that they're supposed to do. And could it be something with these valleys? It could be, but you've got the steeper roof dropping onto the flatter roof. I don't see any deficiencies here that are screaming at me saying that there's a potential problem. There's no nail pops. The joints look like they're all in good locations. There's no joints right up against the edge here. So I'm not seeing any smoking guns on the roofing side of things. So I think it really just comes down to the flashing being lapped in the reverse manner, and we need to fix that and address that and make sure that we've taking care of everything that could possibly giving us problems to make sure it doesn't happen again in the future. And as we showed you up top on this outside corner where the house wrap was not all the way down where it needed to be, you can see we've already got some water showing up and dripping, staining happening here on the siding underneath what is the roof. And you shouldn't have any water down here at this point. So our guys are going to fix that as well. And that should solve the water leak coming in here. So when you're hiring someone to build a screen porch in the back of your house or do an addition, you want to talk to them not only about, how they're going to build that structure, but also how they're going to tie it into your existing house, how they're going to make sure all the flashing and the waterproofing is put together, and use some of the information that we're providing here in these videos to help educate you on what things should look like so that you have a way to have that conversation and make sure that you're getting the value that you're paying for when going through that process. Of course, it's always possible for mistakes to happen when you're building a project, but there's just certain things about getting the details of those mechanical flashing layers correct and putting them in the correct sequence and the correct order so that you don't have any reverse laps. That is really a very simple thing to get right. And so as you're training you guys for your crew, something that is very important that you teach early and often in your process, because this is one detail that over and over and over again, as you watch the videos on our YouTube channel, you're going to see this problem a lot, where there's a lot of builders that maybe they can throw up a structure and they can do some framing and they can put some siding and some shingles on, but they miss that detail of how to connect the new structure into the existing wall in a waterproof and workmanlike manner. So what problem can we solve for you? Roofing, siding, windows, doors, decks, anything on the interior home, remodel your kitchen, renovate your bathroom, finish your basement, electrical, plumbing, drywall, spackle, paint, build you a custom dream home, an addition, a garage. There's nothing our team doesn't do. Take a picture of what it is that's bothering you. Hit that contact us button right there at the top of our Facebook page. Send us some pictures of what's going on. Our team will be happy to assist you. We have a dedicated office staff standing by to answer your calls weekdays, 9:30 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon at 484-748-0008. Please choose option 2 for Cope Built, your full service construction and renovation company, and extension 2 for new projects. We are Pennsylvania Home Improvement Contractor number 88078, licensed in Newcastle County, Delaware 10490. If you're watching with us here on YouTube today, please make sure you like this video. Click that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get updated about all our great content and get the information that you're going to need so that when you interview a contractor for work on your house, you know the right questions to ask so you can separate those and know what they're talking about from those who don't. Remember, we're finished with your project. You're proud to say it's not just done. It was Cope Built. We'll catch you guys in the next edition of Forever Home. Bye for now.